Mikee P back on the Into Money Players podcast, and it's Tuesday, so you know what time it is. It's Assiniboia Downs Tuesday night late pick 4 time. New guest with me, a guy that's been working with us as an intern on the In the Money Media Network. It's Chance Rains. Chance, good to have you. You're a young guy, 22 years old, and you caught the racing bug.
Yes, sir, I did. I've caught it hard, and I've dove headfirst into the industry about as fast as I possibly could have. I've been doing the newsletter for ITM. I just started. When did I start? It's been 4 or 5, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. I started an article series in the same vein as what Eric Solomon does for Monmouth Park for Assiniboia Downs, handicapping that 3 days a week. And currently I am a production assistant intern for the New York Racing Association's television broadcasts for America's Day at the Races, Saratoga Live, all programs I'm sure our viewers are familiar with.
Yeah, it's great to have you, Chance. And of course, you're doing great work for us behind the scenes for ITM, but your handicapping analysis has been showing up on the newsletter, obviously showing up on the website. And yeah, you're new to the game, but certainly you are involved in handicapping and you're learning every day and obviously getting much better, picking lots of winners. And, as a young guy, like what attracted you to racing?
I think there's a lot that can attract different people to racing. I think for me, a lot of it is following the stories of these horses. And like you think of like the Kentucky Derby and how they build these storylines with these horses. And even just from handicapping Assiniboia Downs, to see the trajectories of these different horses, what company they've been keeping, where they drop, where they raise class. The storylines are probably like my favorite part of racing, and I think they're very findable. Like as I've brought it up a lot in my Presque Isle articles, the races for leading trainer and leading jockey are very tight and very competitive, and so that brings a lot of excitement when there's something to follow like that, and that excitement, it gets me excited to go out to watch these races. And I mean, I could probably stand at any rail at any racetrack in the country and be excited to watch a horse race. That there is a certain thrill that you get right before those gates open when you hear the call to post. There's nothing like it, truly.
When you have that bug, I'll tell you, Chance, I've had it since I was a young guy too, since I was about 17 years old, and that was 30 years ago. So here I still am interested in racing and following it day to day, of course. And well, you want storylines, and we got a track for you because Assiniboia Downs, of course, is in Western Canada, a little limited, of course, with their horse population. So we see a lot of the same horses. You get a lot of the same connections that are back year after year. You get very much know the horses year after year. And it's in a great spot. They race Tuesday, Wednesday nights. Typically, you get an occasional Monday, 8:30 Eastern time, Chance. And like I said, lots of interesting stories. You get very familiar with the stock. So a track maybe that you certainly would be interested in.
Yeah, just looking through tonight's card, a lot of horses who have been keeping very similar company, and I'm going to bring it up a few different times as we go through the late pick 4 sequence here, of horses who have been running, raising, and dropping, and how that has affected their performance, and why that might be the angles to play to get through this pick 4 sequence.
I see you wearing that Bengal shirt. You should cover that up.
Like, I might wanna.
I'm a Yinzer here. I can't be putting up with that sort of thing.
Well, I'm from Western PA, but it's the black and orange for me.
Oh, killing me.
My parents ask every day. My parents wonder every day what went wrong because they're both Steelers fans.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Well, late pick 4, Chance at Assiniboia. Of course, we have that 50,000 guaranteed there every night. But again, last week, 86,000 on Tuesday in that late pick 4. The $3 late pick 3s, of course, very attractive. They had almost 45,000 in that late pick 3 last Tuesday. Overall handle $1.5 million on 7 races last week. So obviously, Chance, the people are betting this product, and this is a place where you can make money.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think something else we've covered is the Gulfstream card on Mondays. People are looking for that on Tuesdays too. The people who want to follow racing every day are missing those big opportunities on Tuesday, and Assiniboia is filling that gap wonderfully right now. And I think that Tuesday night card is just perfect for that spot in the week, and that's why it's bringing in this amazing handle.
Let's do some handicapping, Chance. And late pick four for Tuesday at 9:50 Eastern time. So last 4 races starts in race number 4, and we have maiden 10,000s. They're going 6 furlongs, Chance. And we have a first-time starter in here. The rest of them have had plenty of chances. So you going to go first-time starter, or you want one of the ones that have raced?
I'm going to go away from the first-time starter here, and I'm also going to try to beat this favorite here with the number 4. Are You Not Entertained? What great name. I'm going to try to beat this horse with the horse that was running behind him just by a neck, though. Number 6, Sergeant Philco. He makes a very obvious leader in this field of maidens, and he just came up just a neck short at the wire last time. I think he should look strong again today. For this late pick 4, this would be my single. If you're unsure on your tickets, the number 4, I think it's between these two. I don't see much else in the way of needing to go too wide with this ticket here, at least in this first leg. And some of these other races are going to get really tough. So I want just the 6 here as my single.
Yeah, and with the $1 minimum, you do want to shrink down. It's always very helpful to have a single. Chance, are you a movie guy? Are You Not Entertained? Do you know where that's from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Sparta.
Okay. So, well, yeah, Gladiator, of course, and, one of my favorite movies of all time. Well, I like the 6 also, Sergeant Philco. Chance, I don't know if you watched the replay last time. I'm sure you did, but that July 7th race, I mean, this one was very game to the wire. Took all the heat early and was just got tracked down late by 7 Rags. We're going to see that horse show up in the next race. So, pay attention to the company lines there. But I thought that one, now this one's third back. The barn's still looking for a win on the meet, but I do think that her horses, Tiffany Husbands, are racing very well. So this one looks to get off the duck there. Very much an include for me, but I would back up with the 2, Toto Corazon. Now, this one was in that same race last time, kind of made an early move and got put away, but kept grinding to the wire. If you watch 2 back, though, that June 22nd race, this one was against the track, was outside, and just missed just a neck late to Cashflow, who went wire to wire with a perfect trip. Another one you might see later on in this card. So a lot of common lines here, but I think that this one maybe could reverse the form just a little bit. Maybe could have bounced just a hair off that race on June the 22nd. So I would want that one on tickets also. So 6 and 2 to kick off the late pick 4 at ASD on Tuesday.
Yeah, I definitely think you have a good point with that too. That race, they finished basically under a blanket. I believe it was, from 1 to 5, it was less than 2 lengths. Mm-hmm. Very competitive field here. 3 of those horses coming into this race.
Race 5, $10,000, 2 lifers now. And we mentioned some of these horses that were racing for those maiden tags. And 7 Rags returns in here, Chance. They're going 6 furlongs. Also, a lot of speed in this race, I thought. A lot of horses that want to go early. Cashflow also back in this race. You see a horse like Not So Swift, living in the fast lane. The 3, the 4, all want to go to the front. So I'm going to play closers in here. I like prices. I like the 5, War as Hell, as one of my horses in here. This one's dropping from the 2 life allowance races, and this one's never really been cheapened. If you look last year, Manitoba Derby was in the Derby trial prior to that. And really now gets a tag for the first time. I think needs one, honestly. I mean, it has just been kind of finishing mediocre in those allowance races. This one's 1 for 19 with 9 shares lifetime. So it's a better spot here. Should be able to sit from off the pace. This jockey tends to race that way. And I think that this one should get first run, and hopefully with the class can overhaul these. I'll use that one. I use Golden Chiro. I really like this horse on June the 23rd. Really, I didn't really like the ride. I ended up back a little bit too far and came back off that claim, stepped up to main specials and galloped there on July the 8th. So I think that this one is better than she looks on paper. She's going to get a similar trip, and I do think improvement is likely. So 5 and 6, and then if you're going to back up, maybe the 7. He knows, we know. This one is Jerry Gourneau, and this one was claimed for $7,500. And you can see some of those back lines was racing for 2 lives, 3 lives, and is competitive. This is a very similar spot. This horse has 4 lifetime wins. This barn is, of course, phenomenal. 36 wins at the meet. 10-1 morning line. I don't believe that this horse was anywhere near that, but I think 5, 6, and 7 are horses I need on tickets here, Chance. Who do you like?
I definitely agree. And they say great minds think alike, because clearly we are in sync on this 5 here. I think War as Hell there's a lot to like about this number 5 horse. He's cutting back. He's dropping into the claiming ranks for the first time. He's had a few tilts in Allowance Company that haven't gone his way. He is 4 for 5 in the money. He has his only win, and he's run 3 second places in 5 starts going this distance. So I really like that line of form for him coming in here. He does come from what I would consider a very moody sire line out of who's by Moonings. And especially when you're playing the Western California circuits, you got to keep an eye out for that pedigree. Seems to strike when you least expect it. This horse definitely would be a win bet for me every day of the week here. I think I agree pretty much everything you said about all of the horses. I think anyone could win this race. It's very, very close in terms of competition here. This is probably where I definitely went the widest in my pick 4 ticket. I took the 1 who was just ran that winning effort coming from off the pace, retains his jockey, solid speed figures. I think should be very competitive, even though Seven Rags is facing winners for the first time. And then I also liked the 4 living in the fast lane as that speed front end horse. Even he is also facing winners for the first time too. So that should make it very interesting with these 2 horses coming in. Cash flows also just broken the maiden. Many interesting recently graduated horses that are going to come into this race.
Yeah, tough race for sure. These 2 lives typically are tough races, Chance. So, I think we've given reasons that all can win. So, definitely wide open leg number 2. Started that late $3 pick 3 for Tuesday night at Assiniboia. Well, that's going to race number 6. And it's 7 furlongs here now, Chance. And this is a much better spot here as far as a caliber of horse. This is a condition allowance race here. They're going for $19,000. You have 7 of them signed on. Lots of horses that have been very competitive at this level. Who you like?
Yeah, I sat here and I tried to, was like, how the heck do I get out of race 5? And then it felt like race 6 was just another buzzsaw in the way here of getting to the pay window. So I'm going to focus here on 2 horses. I want to focus on the number 3, Truly Warrior, and the number 6, Lab Rat. Now, Truly Warrior took a field gate to wire in a 6 furlong race over a very sloppy track in early June. He ran back 2 weeks later, ran 5th. But if you look at the form lines of that race, the top 2 horses in that race both went out and they won their next starts. Judo, the winning horse that day, went on to win a 50K stakes race in his next start by over 5 lengths. Now, the number 6 Lab Rat has a similar issue of running behind very good horses in form. In his last start, he ran 3rd behind 2 horses who came back to win their next starts. And he didn't like the slop in his 7-year-old debut. He didn't seem to like going 7 furlongs, but he got the lead last time. I expect him to be very competitive on the front end again. And if this race is spooking you, I have the favorite, number 5, as a B. I don't think the company he has been keeping has been as tough. I believe there's a common horse, Wico, W-I-C-O, that both Truly Warrior and Lab Rat have gone up against as well and have kind of put away or been very close to putting away at times. So I kind of have dismissed the 7-5 Chief Brady here for the 3rd leg here.
Yeah, no Chief Brady for me also. I like the same horses you like. I like Lab Rat.
Yeah.
I think that one is legit. A 3rd back off the bench. And that was a wicked pace last time. If you look at those pace figures, they're lit up red there. 129, 113, 101 early. For this place, that is quite swift. And you mentioned Tail Lights and Wico. I mean, those are 2 legitimate ones that are just winning at this level almost every week or, capable at that stakes level over this racetrack. So, and the same with Truly Warrior. And if you see, he had trouble there on June 16th versus Judo. Judo was horse of the year last year at Assiniboia Downs. So, these horses at the company lines, I think, are flattering to the 3 and the 6. And those are the 2 that I want in this race. And I do not want Chief Brady. If I were to back up at all, maybe the 2 Buck Owens would be one I would be interested in. Just 3rd back, stretched out last time to a mile. I made an early move and ended up getting picked off on the wire. If things get hot, and it could, this pace could heat up, especially with some of these other ones in here early. This one could sit. I think the 7 furlong suits this one. It's third back. Could get the right trip in here. And I know it's 4-1 morning line, but we'll be higher than that with some of these others taking money. The 3 will take money. The 5 will take money. I do think the 6 will actually be lower than the 2 here. So I'm including this one as a B. I'd be heavy 3, 6, and then a little 2 back up.
Yeah, I think this being a 2-turn 7 furlong race, I think that helps the 2 quite a bit. Getting that extra turn in there instead of it being just a straightaway into a 1-turn 7 furlongs will definitely help.
Race 7 to finish, and we have finish up the late pick 3, late pick 4. $5,500 claimers here, Chance. Now they're going 6 furlongs. We have 7 signed on. How are we going to get paid?
All right. The horse that's going to get me to the pay window is Peterson Landing. She held her own when she rose to this tag last time out, right? Going from claiming 5,000 to 55. She finished second, just beaten a little bit over a length. But looking at that form line, the company she was keeping, 3 horses out of her race went on to run winning efforts in their next starts. I also like the 3 in this spot, Legata Salvage in this spot. Chance Dale's having a great meet with just a slim barn, only 7 starts, but 2 wins and 3/3. This horse, I do believe, can beat some of the tougher competition in this race, as the form lines indicate. Did beat, I believe, 6 Indietta, 2 back in that win. I think that just a little 2-horse final leg to get me to the window.
I agree on the 2. I think that one, the morning line's off on that one. That one's 6-1 morning line. There's no way this horse is 6-1 in this race, especially third back. I mean, the barn is at 26%. Raced very well last time in a very live race. So I agree. And Whitehall back on this one. It's going to get the right trip in here. So a definite use for me in the last race. The 6 Indiana, I do like this one also. And this one comes off the claim here for Craig Smith. Has shown speed in the last 2 starts. And I like the improvement last time. I do think that this one could be the speed of the speed in this race and could be tough to track down. The 3, I understand your pick there, but that was a little hit and miss for me and has possibilities, but I think they all kind of want the same trip in here. So I'm not sure if that one can beat the 2. We'll see. I think it's an okay use. It's just another one that certainly I think plays okay in here. Now, the one distinctive, Deb, that one's 2-1 morning line. It's a drop here. This horse was racing at that condition level last year and was very consistent there, but 7 seconds, 2/3 and 14 starts. Now did have 2 wins, but all those shares are a little bit scary here. As a 6-year-old mare now you get a drop, and I don't love the drop in this spot. I do think that you could use this horse maybe as a B type or even a C type to finish out late pick 4s, especially if you get one of your prices in on those earlier legs. And I do like a few prices there. So I would maybe want to be alive to a penny to the 1, but for me, I would be heavy 2, heavy 6, a little bit of 1 to finish. You can see the pick 4 on the screen. Now I use my B's in here. So this is a heavy ticket. That's a caveman ticket. I would definitely weight this one appropriately, Chance, especially for the dollar minimum. We like to do that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree on that. You want to, especially when it's a dollar minimum, you want to keep the ticket very slim. It can be very easy when it's a 50-cent wager to start throwing in some horses and only come out with a $6 ticket, $18 ticket. When you get that $1, it adds up very quickly.
Mm-hmm. And helps the payoffs for sure. Well, Chance, one thing we want to talk about real quick to finish up is Express Bets having, we love our contest. So they're having Manitoba Derby, the Pegasus World Cup Betting Championship qualifiers, and there's $40 qualifiers to get in that Manitoba Derby, the Pegasus World Cup qualifier. Of course, defending champion Chris Couples. We know Chris Couples from the In the Money Network. We're always rooting for Chris. He'll probably be looking to defend that title. But Chance, these $40 price points to get in this $500 contest are very attractive. And Manitoba Derby Day fast approaching. What do you think about these contests? Are you a contest guy?
Not as much. Contest is definitely not how I started into the industry, but being around In the Money Media, you start to pick up a lot of contest stuff because we are so geared towards a lot of that content. And so I've had to learn a lot really quickly. Have I played contests? No, but I would definitely encourage anybody out there to get into these contests if that is your forte. Very competitive, great opportunities to do some wagering, do some handicapping, especially up a Pegasus World Cup, I think is probably one of the most underrated grade ones. And I think that this is definitely a great opportunity to get a spot into that betting challenge.
Yeah, and that's a big price point there also for the Pegasus World Cup. I mean, to get in that's a $6,000 contest. So to jump into these $40 contests, and you get into the $500 contest, and this is on August 3rd for the Manitoba Derby. You can actually buy into this one also. So of course, go to expressbet.com, get in on their contest, jump in on Assiniboia Downs for these contests, and hopefully you can win a seat to try to take on Chris maybe for the Pegasus World Cup betting challenge. Well, Chance, this was good. I mean, first podcast for you, but I think you did a great job. I enjoyed the handicapping, and I think we might make you do this again a couple times. No good deed, like Pete says, goes unpunished around here.
That's definitely true. I would love to be back on whenever you've got a space for me. Let me know.
This has been a production of In the Money Media. Jump in on Assiniboia Downs on Tuesdays. Get in on that late pick 4 or the $3 late pick 3. We'll see you next time.